What up, what up? You're back with Texting My Ex. I'm Esmarie, and you know I had to do a Valentine's Day episode because I love love. And a couple years ago, I came up with my own Valentine's Day drink, but I didn't have any vodka on hand, and that's what it required. Nor did I have the regular cranberry. And y'all know I'm good for, hey, if you don't have this on hand, you can use this. If you don't have this, you can switch it out for this. So today, I'm literally gonna take my own drink and I'm gonna switch it out for two different things to see how it tastes. Instead of regular vodka, I'm gonna use some Malibu coconut rum. This is what definitely goes in it, strawberries and cream Baileys. Instead of cranberry juice, I'm gonna use some cran pomegranate and then a splash of grenadine, just a splash. Just a splash. Don't be trying to make it all sweet, thinking, oh, if I add some more, it's gonna be sweet. No, it's gonna be syrupy and nasty as shit. Don't fuck up my drink, okay? So anyways, you're gonna take an ounce of each, which if you've been following me, what is that? A 4 count, okay? Taking your shaker with ice, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you're gonna do about 1.5 ounces of the cran pomegranate or cranberry juice if you wanna use that, if you got it on hand. And then a splash of that grenadine. God, that was even a little more than a splash. I'm disappointed. Shake it. All right, strain. Get you a little martini glass. This is one of those martini type drinks. We're not gonna put this over ice, okay? And I did call it the pink Valentine, still has that pretty pink color. All right, let's try it. Cheers. It tastes pretty damn close to my original drink anyway, so obviously these two didn't make much of a difference. And I kind of feel like this added coconut taste, it makes it, you know what I'm saying, a little bit better. So I definitely like it, highly recommend. So if you want to try my original, you can do that, or you can try this, but either way you're gonna enjoy. Let's get to our next text. With Valentine's Day right around the corner, you know I had to touch on this because what is a relationship podcast without talking about Valentine's Day, the holiday of love, right? I know some of y'all got a date, some of y'all don't. It's okay. I'm going on 13 years. We're not gonna talk about it. I'm just playing. We'll dive into that more later, but I wanted to touch on this because there's a lot of different opinions surrounding Valentine's Day. And I had gotten asked a few questions, you know, my opinion, my thoughts, you know, and I want to share that with y'all. So maybe give you a little different perspective, or maybe just make you look forward to the next Valentine's Day, you know? So I was asked recently as, what does love mean to you? It's a loaded question, really. You know, people say the cliche, love is respect and loyalty and kindness and trust and all these things, right? But I feel like that's so surface level. I do think that respect, consideration, trust, all that comes into love, right? But it's also about choosing to pick that person or fight for that person or be there for that person, support that person, even on the days that you don't like them. You can be in love with someone and still not like them every day. Love is not conditional, within reason, right? You ain't finna be stepping out on me all the time, blatantly disrespecting me, putting your hands on me, and then I'm gonna, you know, do that. No. We're not talking about the extreme. We're talking about just the everyday, imperfect human mistakes or phases of life, right? You choose to respect them enough to not let your selfishness take over, even when you feel like something isn't going your way, even if it's for a period of time. I talked about a video recently how marriage, you know, you're not marrying the person you're standing at the altar with, you're marrying multiple versions of them throughout the rest of their life. So I think love is choosing not to give up on them when things aren't perfect or when things have changed in a way that you didn't expect. Your partner is never supposed to hurt you. They're never supposed to harm you, but your partner is going to make mistakes. And I think it's like, you know, if I can wake up and look at my husband and say, you know, he done pissed me off. He made the stupidest decision yesterday, or I am so fucking disappointed at how he handled that, or whatever the case may be. But then say later on that day, he gets in a minor car accident and dents his favorite car and is really stressed out. I'm going to put our issues aside and I'm going to be there for him. Or if later on that day, you know, his homeboy or his sister or his mother come at him disrespectfully or do something that's out of line, guess what? Our issues are put to the side. I've got you. I've got your back. And, oh, hello. Okay. At the end of the day, we'll discuss this later, but we are a team. I think that's love. So yeah, I think it's basically just making sure that you're not giving up on them, and you're choosing to love them even on the rough days. Someone asked simultaneously with that question, is there unconditional love nowadays, and does that still exist? And I think that kind of rolls into the next question, right? Because I don't think love has conditions. I think if you have conditions, you don't really love the person. I do think that unconditional love still exists. I have definitely shown unconditional love to people who probably didn't deserve it, because it's kind of like an all in or nothing. I either love you or I don't. There is no in between. If we've reached a level of where I love you, you have to do something that is extremely foul for those feelings or that loyalty, that respect to go away. Because I do accept that people are imperfect humans, because I do accept that we are going to change. We are going to not be our best versions of ourselves sometimes. We are trying our best. We go through things. But as long as, there's a certain level of respect and kindness and effort, I can still love you, and I will love you. I'm not going to just love you one day, but then if you get paralyzed from the waist down the next day, forget about you. I can love you one day, but if you suddenly start to change your religious beliefs or something that you thought your whole life has now changed, as long as it's not causing harm to me, I'm going to still love you, because that's what unconditional love is. To answer the question, I do think that unconditional love still exists, but I think that it's a lot harder to find nowadays, because our brains have been conditioned to believe that when something isn't perfect right away, there's so many options out there, like social media, with social media being such a high influence on dating nowadays, right? So I think it is, but I think it's very hard to find. Back in the day, we were conditioned to believe, without all these options, that when it's broke, you fix it. Not when it's broke, you throw away and go find a new shiny toy, right? So yes, but I do still believe that there are a lot of people who deep down, they want that unconditional love and they want to show unconditional love to somebody, but they're too scared to be vulnerable. They're too scared to put themselves out there because they don't want to get played and they don't want to look stupid. It's a more like tit for tat sort of thing. This whole, I'm just going to match energy instead of communicating. I think that there's a lot of factors that cause people not to want to work on themselves as well. Like that kind of plays a part into the whole social media thing. Because there's so many options, you feel as though it's almost like a subconscious entitlement of, okay, well, they don't accept me exactly how I am right now, and there's other people that will. When really those other people wouldn't take the time to get to understand you. You're not perfect, right? I think people are less willing to work on themselves because they think they can just move right on to the next, and that they'll just get somebody else that'll put up with their BS. When really, if you take the time to reflect, listen to the person that actually cares about you and is holding you accountable, work on yourself, work on the relationship, it's going to pay off in the long run. You're never going to find that perfect person. It's never going to exist. You're going to find someone that you're willing to work through things with, which makes a perfect relationship together. Almost become perfect for each other, but you're still not perfect. Long story short, I do think unconditional love still exists. Someone said, love is not enough. Do you agree? No, I don't think love is enough. I don't think love is enough because you can love me, but do you respect me? You can love me, but do you understand me? You can love me, but do you support me? You might be like, oh my gosh, like I just love them, and you love to be around me. You love to hug and kiss on me. You love my body. You love going out and having fun with me. But do you support my goals? Do you believe in me? Do you make me feel motivated? Do you respect my thought process, even if it's not something you agree with? Do you sacrifice? Do you compromise? All these things play a part in a relationship. And again, it goes back to things are not always going to be peachy, right? You might love my presence. You might think I'm a good person. You might say, oh my gosh, I just love the joy this person brings me. But that could also be deemed as selfish and internal, right? It's all about what makes you happy to have me or around or to have access to me. So Yeah, I don't think love is enough. I think there has to be a lot more involved in a relationship. People think, oh, well, if you love someone, then all that stuff plays a part. If that's your opinion, but I disagree. Someone can have all the love for you in the world and still may not be your person and may not be good for you. Can you celebrate Valentine's Day on a different day? Social anxiety when there's I have social anxiety when there's too many people out. I mean, yeah, of course. That's just something you gotta discuss with your partner. The last person that I was speaking to mentioned that they had social anxiety. I dated a guy for like 5.5 years, social anxiety. Yeah, I think that that's just something. But then also at the same time, you don't have to go out and do something extravagant for Valentine's Day. And I feel like if you're in a relationship with somebody who has social anxiety, I think that that would be something that you can compromise on. Like, hey, as long as you're putting in thought to this day, like if you want to do something, okay, let's do a little picnic on the beach that's secluded, or let's do something cute in a hotel room, or let's do something cute at home. Let's decorate and get snacks and candles and or whatever it is that you like, right? And that can be just as thoughtful. You don't have to go out and do all this crazy stuff just to have a good Valentine's Day. I think it is kind of, if you're going to celebrate the Valentine's, I do think it is kind of cute to go out on Valentine's. I just think it's, to see all the love around you, I think is also kind of cute, and it just kind of sets the mood. It almost reminds me of like when you're in Vegas, right? Everybody's in a dope ass mood. So like there's literally no way you could have a bad time. No matter where you go, everybody's hype and happy and the energy is great. So it's almost like the energy is euphoric and makes you have such a good time, like even if you're not doing anything crazy. So that's what I kind of feel like it might be like when you go out. Like I said, I haven't done it in 13 years, so I don't know. But I feel like it would be cute to go out on Valentine's because you see all this love and it just makes you feel good, and it makes you all lovey-dovey with your partner. That's just my opinion. But someone says, I have been dating my boyfriend for 2 to 3 months. I got him a pair of sneakers for Valentine's Day, and he is already wearing them and loves them. Last night, he told me that he bought me a Clone Willy kit as my gift. I don't like that. I feel like my gift is more about him than it is about me or anything that I like. And I see him every day, so why would I need that? Should I tell him before he gives it to me, or should I just suck it up? That is a good question. That is a very good. So you said 2 to 3 months, right? That is actually partially why certain Valentine's Days never happened for me, because it was too early on. We didn't really know each other that well or whatever. 2 to 3 months, I mean, yeah, you've been dating, but it's still early. So I think that it was nice that you got him sneakers for sure. And maybe he could have done something a little more. No offense, guys, but sometimes you guys can be idiots. I'm just saying. I would laugh at it. It is kind of funny, and I do think that he didn't mean any harm by it. And so I would kind of laugh and be like, okay, well, my definition of romance is a little different. My idea is a little different, but okay. Like I would laugh and kind of just give him a little cute hint, that like, can we do something better next time? I wouldn't really get too upset about it. Hopefully you guys go to dinner or something. There's other things that, play a part in that day that make you feel good. So maybe later on you can bring it up to him. Now, if he was doing this like next year, like after a year in, oh no, I'd be like, listen, what the fuck? Get it together, bitch. Like, I got you something that you love. Like, I know you love. Like, what the fuck is this? So, yeah, I think you guys are kind of still early on. So, I personally wouldn't be as upset about it. But that's just me. Someone also asked me what was the best Valentine's Day gift or date that I ever had, which in turn I wanted to ask everybody that I knew, right? 13 years. People were like, what the fuck? Like, there must be a problem. Why has she not had a Valentine in 13 years? Some of it was because I was, yes, young and dumb, and I was dating people who clearly did not appreciate me or were living double lives, and I just didn't know until those special days came around and they were spending it with somebody else, so but then also, like I said, some of the days it was like too soon for me and that person to celebrate, and it just so happened I was it was right before Valentine's that we met, or right around that week. And then sometimes I was just single. And so, yeah, unfortunately, it has been 13 years. Hopefully, next year will be different. But the best Valentine's Day date night or gift that I ever had was the only time that I ever really celebrated it with someone. They bought me a dress. They bought me this cute purple strapless dress. They went behind my back and got a sitter for my daughter. They told me to be ready by a certain time. We went to this like downtown area, and it was a little bit chilly at the time, like where we were at, and we did like a little stroll, the Clydesdales. It was when I was up in St. Louis, so we did the little Clydesdale stroll around the city. And then it dropped us off at this really, really nice restaurant, like really, really nice. And it like turns like while you're eating. Had, a really great dinner. And then I almost got nervous because I wasn't expecting it. I thought he was proposing. But it was a ring. It looks like an engagement ring, and but I wasn't really sure. But either way, it was like really, really pretty. And he gave me a little ring as a gift. It was gorgeous. And then we went home, and it was a really good night. So that was definitely done right. Props to him. If that was my only memory, or last memory, I should say, it was a great one. So I can't really complain. But I was on a different podcast recently talking about like what would be the ideal Valentine's Day, because I'm very simple. I don't need a lot, right? Someone like what he did was great, and that's cool, but I really didn't even need all that. I would just be just hanging out and just showing me that I am the person you want to spend time with that day is enough for me. Maybe cook a little dinner or something, like, and then we just chill, and then we just hang out. Like I love quality time. That's my love language. But someone asked me, what would be if some dude wanted to go all out for your Valentine's, what would you want? And I had said, I think, maybe, and this is if the person wanted to go all out. This is not what I'm expecting, but like if I had my dream, I guess, Valentine's. Him sending me money like the beginning of the week, like, hey, here's a lump sum of money, go get you a nice outfit for Valentine's Day. I want you to pick a specific outfit that is for our night. Okay, cool. Because as much as it's cool when a guy tries to shop, like if you waste your money and it doesn't fit, then we're fucked, right? So if you want me to wear something specific, send me the money and I'll go shopping. Tell me what time to be ready. Pick me up. I'm such a big back, I'll eat anything. So go on ahead. Like, go pick the restaurant. I don't give a fuck what it is. I'll eat anything. It doesn't even have to be fancy. Like, just let's eat, okay? We eat. I obviously love the beach. That's, big thing for me. So it'd be kind of cool to go to the beach after, just to either walk and talk or just sit and talk. Like, I love listening to the waves and, just having deep intellectual conversation, meaningful conversation, something I'm going to remember. I want to connect on like a really deep level, right? And then, go back to wherever. And anyways, so that would be probably my ideal Valentine's. But again, I do firmly believe that Valentine's has kind of become this thing where there's like a lot of big expectations, and I don't think that it needs to be. You can do that any time of the year. It doesn't need to be a specific day to do that. And I think that it's the thought that counts. I don't think men should have to spend hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars on Valentine's Day just to prove that they love you or care about you. That's just me. Other women might feel differently. I don't know. Now, I know a lot of men have their opinions about Valentine's Day. However, I know that y'all have steak and BJ Day. And as far as I was concerned, that is y'all's Valentine's Day. So for you men out there that are like, oh, why do we have to celebrate Valentine's Day? Because if you got a good woman, she should be celebrating steak and BJ Day. And if she don't, it's a problem. But that's just my opinion. So yeah, we're just gonna leave that at that. Another thing that I get asked quite often is, people that have seen my podcast and have found out, oh my God, like she hasn't had a Valentine's in so long, or if they've seen my social media or talked to me or whatever. I've had multiple people be like, oh, I would love to take you out, or, just as friends if you need it, or just to make sure that you're not alone on Valentine's, I would love to treat you. I've had all different kind of requests, right? And I've heard about this whole Galentine's, like single girls getting together. I personally don't have like a big group of girlfriends, so one, I didn't even know it was a thing until one of my homegirls did it for me a couple years ago. But it's it's not something I would rush to go do. I'm a little less girly and emotional when it comes to that stuff. But as far as like the men who are like, oh, you seem like such a cool chick, like I would love to at least treat you to a Valentine's, since it's been so long, whatever. The reason I always turn that down, it's not because I don't appreciate it. I shout out to everybody, that has done that, friends, non-friends, followers, whatever. Like, you guys are amazing. I even had someone shout me out on their story last year about it. It was so cute. But I do appreciate it, but it's one of those things that like I haven't had it in so long, right? And I had it the one time, and it was with someone I had been dating for a while. It really meant a lot. And it's like, if I'm going to do it, right, I want it to be with someone that I am dating, that I do love, that I do care about so much. I want it to actually mean something. And if it's not that, I don't want it. Like, even when it comes to like proposals and marriage, I've had a couple friends be like, okay, if we're both still single by the age of 40, like, let's get married, let's do a pact. You know what I mean? And, you know, even with that, like when they've made jokes about a ring, I say no. I'm like, if it's not like me being truly in love with someone or truly caring about someone that is celebrating this moment with me, it doesn't hit the same. You know what I mean? Like, sure, you could take me out and make a fucking great dinner and do all these nice things, but it's not gonna feel like a Valentine to me. It's just gonna feel like somebody nice doing something nice for me. But the whole point of Valentine's, in my opinion, is I just feel like you should be sharing it with the person you love. You should be sharing it with someone you get to kiss on and hug on, and you really just love to be around them. So it's like, no, if I can't have it like that, I don't want it. When people are like, does it ever make you sad, that you don't really celebrate? And it's like, yeah, I mean, of course there's going to be days where I'll see other couples and what they do, and it's like, damn, I wish I had that. But I'm okay, because I know that when I finally do get it with someone who really like fucks with me and loves me and just thinks I'm just the most amazing whatever, it's going to be fucking dope. And it's going to be like the best day ever. So yeah, for all of you that have, asked, I love it, but it just doesn't hit the same. So I hope that you can respect that and maybe think about that. Next time, like, put it in perspective. If, you think about asking that for somebody else, that may be why they say no. It's not because, oh, they don't like you, or, oh, they are like, eh. It's like, no, it just won't hit the same. That is all I have to talk about today for Valentine's Day. And for those of you that do have a Valentine, I hope you have an amazing night. Show your partner how much you love and care about them. Really make it count, because nowadays dating is rough, okay? It is a struggle in these streets. If you are fortunate enough to have someone that you get to spend this special day with, make it count and really cherish and appreciate them, because some of us wish we had that. So happy Valentine's Day, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. Come back for more. Text to my ex. I'm Esmarie.